Hi, I'm Doug Patterson, and welcome to Boxing, Then and Now, the True Story. Boxing, Then and Now, the True Story is all about the boxing industry. And this program is going to be about anti-bullying. You know, our guests in the past has been pro boxers, champions, past champions, mothers of boxers, females in the boxing industry, officials in the boxing industry. But this time we want to go deep inside of boxing and tell about what's happening inside and what boxing can do for you. One of our guests is Miss Debbie King from Debbie King Promotions. Marty Sutton, founder and president of BCN Brownsville Communications Network, and Kevin Wade, director of operations, and Staff Sergeant Carl Chaplinsky of the Ohio Army National Guard. And as usual, our special segment, Did You Know, by Noel Selwyn. We'll talk about that a little bit more after this commercial break.
This is Ron Warner, and welcome to the world of boxing, one of the greatest sports ever created. But there's also a side that you must be very careful of. So regardless, if you're an amateur or an aspiring pro, simply reach out to us. Any questions, concerns, feel free to contact us. Zero obligations, zero commitment. We are here. We're here to help. We've had years and years of experiences on so many different levels, and we just want to make sure that you don't make the mistakes that many others have. So again, thank you. Keep those hands up. Keep boxing.
Welcome back again. I'm Doug Patterson with Boxing Then and Now, the True Story. Our guest right here we have with us, Miss Debbie King of Debbie King Promotions. How you doing?
I'm well, Doug. How are you?
We're doing fine. Debbie, you've been in the boxing industry a few years, quite a few years. How many?
About 45.
So you at least seen about 2 or 3 bouts at least, right?
At least 2 or 3.
2 or 3 bouts. Tell us about the boxing industry, because you deal with pro boxers. We deal with amateurs that turn to pro, and then we're going to talk about where they can go in their future as far as amateurs or pro. So you deal with pros. So what do you look for when you first got into boxing? What made you get into it?
Well, I was raised in this sport. You know, as the world knows, my father is boxing promoter Don King. So I grew up in boxing. You know, my first experience in boxing was the Rumble in the Jungle. That was the first major fight. Besides, I take that back. Let me correct myself. We did the fundraiser for the hospital here in Cleveland, which was on 116th Street.
Okay.
When he had Muhammad Ali do the fundraiser. Okay. So that was my first experience.
So how'd you like it there, seeing people get hit in the face?
Didn't bother me at all.
Okay, all right.
I was a fan.
Okay.
You know, so when you truly love the sport, you have to be a fan first.
Okay.
So, you know, I grew up in this sport. This sport actually raised me. So as I watch this sport today, a lot of times I'm very disappointed, and I want to see the sport get the recognition that it deserves. You know, and I want to see boxing come back to get the kind of credibility that it deserves, and not be just a vaudeville show, if you will.
So how do you feel Debbie Promotions can help do that?
I wanted to go back to the true essence of the sport itself. I feel that boxing is an art form. It takes a lot of skill to hit someone and not get hit back.
Oh, yeah. It takes a lot on that. The first time I got hit, I didn't think that was for me, so I like our referee instead of getting hit.
Absolutely. You know, it's a lot of dedication and determination and drive to be in a boxing ring. You know what I'm saying? And until that sport can take care of you, it's a hobby.
Well, you know, in the boxing industry and so forth, you have out at your venue a retreat that you take boxers out to get them in and teach them discipline and so forth like that. How's that coming along?
It's coming along great. I'm in the process of revitalizing the training camp and opening it back up. We can house up to 43 individuals. We have a state-of-the-art facility. We have 2 rings. We have a full commercial kitchen. We have nothing but space and opportunity for you to get your mind, body, and soul in condition to be the best athlete that you can be.
Name some of the athletes and boxers that came to your camp that started there. This is in Orwell, Ohio, right?
Correct. We are in the heart of Amish country in rural America. We've had greats like Muhammad Ali. We've had Larry Holmes. We've had Tim Witherspoon. We've had Tim Austin. We've had David Bay, Mitch Green, Alfonso Ratcliffe. We've had Michael Dokes. We've had Ernie Shavers.
You had Mike Tyson out there,
We've
too?
had Mike Tyson. We've had Hector Camacho. We've had Alexis Arguello. We've had Azuma Nelson. We've had a list. The list goes on and on and on. We've had a lot of them now are in the Hall of Fames all across the world.
And they came through your camp, which you're developing now, new boxers to come to the camp. We've been working together. I've been handling the amateurs, and you've been working more with the pros. We take the amateurs and push it to the pros, and we'll see our next star from that. So that works good. So they start with the amateur, then they go to the pros with you, and then they become champion, possibly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's always life after boxing. You know, you can dedicate yourself to a skill set, and once you're done, then you train others and teach them. So you never have to stop giving to the sport that you've dedicated yourself to and love so much. Teach others how to do the same thing.
So this is one of the reasons that we have you co-promoting with me for November 18th at the military Woods-King Armory in Highland Hills, Ohio, that we're going to be bringing these fights on where people can come. November 18th, you want to be there at the Woods-King Armory in Highland Hills, Ohio, November 18th, and boxing starts at 4 o'clock. And Deborah's going to have some of her boxing people there, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about it right after this commercial break. We'll be right back with you.
Every 7 seconds, a child is bullied. Bullying can leave a lifetime of scars. Bullying can lead to gun violence.
Welcome back to Boxing Then and Now the True Story. Our next guest is Marty Sutton, founder and owner of BCN, Brownsville Communication Network. And sitting right next to him is Kevin Wade, Director of Operations. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, we talked about boxing and how it can influence the future, and you guys are from Columbus. This is your home base right there, and what we're talking about is anti-bullying. So tell us a little bit about, let's start with you, Marty, about Brownsville Communication Network. What are you guys all about?
Well, the Brownsville Communications Network was built specifically for bullying in schools. We built this communication network for schools in Columbus, Ohio, back in 2017, and COVID hit, so we never got the real opportunity to release the Brownsville Communications Network or the U-Stop app, U-Stop Safety app, which was specifically built for Columbus City schools.
So what is this all about?
What it is, our whole mission was to make sure that we could elevate youth. Elevate them because in the inner cities, these youth are not being elevated. They go to school, they're not elevated. The ones that do well are not elevated. Part of the reason why kids are bullied is because there is no elevation in the inner city schools. You have to elevate them through education, through sports, through just about anything they do. When you look at what these kids are doing now, they get their elevation through social media. Right. So it's the wrong elevation. It's a negative elevation. We need to make sure that they are getting a positive elevation. And that's why I think working with King of the Ring Boxing is going to be a really, really good thing.
Okay, so then you brought Kevin Wade, who's the Director of Operations. What's your responsibility, Kevin?
So, Doug, my responsibilities are to help facilitate the direction of Bronzeville Communication Network. So handling day-to-day operations, working with the different teams and units that are a part of the overall mission and message. So what I try to do is bring private and public stakeholders together to ensure that they understand the mission of the Bronzeville Communication Network and to work together.
You know, when you first contacted King of the Ring Boxing through Deborah King, and she said this would be a good matchup. And even though you guys are in Columbus, it starts from Columbus, which is your home base. But we're reaching out to Akron, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, a lot of these New York, Cincinnati, Columbus, Toledo. They're all, this is just a basic. In fact, all of them will be at the fights November 18th at the Woods-King Armory in Highland Hills, Ohio, November 18th. And you need to be there to see King of the Ring Boxing. We'll have King of the Ring, we'll have Prince of the Ring, we'll have Queen of the Ring, Princess of the Ring, and 12 other outstanding bouts. So with King of the Ring Boxing, how do we make this all come together as far as anti-bullying? Because they can't get bullied, they know they defend themselves, right?
Correct.
And how do you guys feel that your input and what you can do to help that?
Well, what we want to do is take this with you to those different cities, because we are focused on communities, not just the youth, but communities. We feel like the Bronzeville Communications Network is a pre-defense against some of the violence. We want to get in front of the violence. We want to be something positive. We want to show these kids and the communities something positive. We don't want them to end up in jail. We don't want to go to the cemetery and be at the cemetery. We don't want to see them at the cemetery.
So what can you teach them positive?
There's a lot of things we could teach them positive.
Such as?
Through boxing, what we try to do is show them discipline. There's a lot of discipline that comes with boxing, in boxing. And we think that showing them discipline just through boxing, because we don't just do boxing, we do other sports and we do education. And our job at BCN is to bring together different stakeholders that can bring a positive light to these kids. Because if we don't bring something positive to them, they're going to end up in the cemetery.
So you put the ideal together, then you get with Kevin, who did operation and make a spin, and with going from Kevin to making a spin to come to King of the Ring Boxing to Debbie King Promotions. It's kind of a win-win situation there. We combine it all. It's like a ingredient to make that product. You got to have the right ingredients, and I think it's the right ingredient because King of the Ring Boxing, we don't get with everybody, but when we heard of what you were doing, Bronzeville Communication Network, we like, that's a win-win situation.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to add, gentlemen?
It is. It's very important that we all work together as a team.
What about you, Kevin? Anything you want to say?
I was going to say that no matter where you go and what city you're in, it's all about family engagement. Whether it's here in Cleveland, whether
communications,
it's
community.
Yeah, so it's all about community. I think we all want the same thing. And as far as what does it does for the youth, it self-discipline, a sense of being, self-awareness, and physicality. You can be in good shape. Help you get in shape. But most importantly, it just gives that person self-discipline, gives them hope and things of that nature. But the biggest message, I think, is the fact that nothing is different in the communities we go to. Everybody wants the same, to engage the family, to give these kids an opportunity to better themselves.
So you'll be there November 18th, of course. You're sponsoring Prince of the Ring. You'll be there, and you got more questions concerning how they can help and what they're all about directly. They'll be there November 18th at Woods-King Armory, and you could talk to them concerning it. I have a little poster right here. I'm gonna bring it up. This is what it looks like. It's boxing then and now. It's Cleveland versus anybody. We challenging anybody. You want to bring it. You got cities such as, what do you got on here? You got Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, New York, Virginia, and Michigan. That's a heck of a schedule right there. So be there November 18th. Cleveland, boxing. Cleveland versus anybody. November 18th at the Woods-King Armory and Highland Hill. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Doug.
We'll see you then.
Yes.
We're going to still be broadcasting that, and we're going to take another commercial break and bring another special guest. Did you know? Because a lot of things we don't know, but we will know with Noah Sawyer. We'll be right back at you.
Stay connected with the Bronzeville Communications Network, your link to seamless communication and community. Join us today for crystal clear connections and vibrant interactions.
Did you know that the second highest grossing boxing match of all time involved a boxer on his pro debut? His pro boxing debut. He had 0 wins and 0 losses. The year was 2017, and it was Conor McGregor fighting Floyd Mayweather. And a lot of people think, well, he was in MMA, but that's not boxing. He was 0-0 in boxing. As a matter of fact, when they did the introductions, that's what his record was on the screen. And that was the second highest grossing boxing match of all time. The number one highest grossing was Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. So that was $410 million. Then there was Conor McGregor, $396 million. Number 3 was first Canelo Alvarez, also Floyd Mayweather, $150 million. Isn't that a big jump right there? You know, so the number 3 grossing boxing match of all time was $150 million, and then it jumped up to $396 million with Conor McGregor. What's interesting about that Conor McGregor fight, the crossover appeal of personalities, it demonstrates that someone with a 0-0 record could generate the kind of interest that makes people want to watch a boxing match. But we're starting to really get a grasp on that nowadays with the Paul brothers. They're showing that, you know, these are guys that literally there's amateur boxers in the USA boxing system that could beat either of them, and they're generating millions of dollars in boxing matches because it's all about the interest. Now, when it comes to interest, you think it has to be a combination with skills and interest, and that's true. But like I said, the Paul brothers, probably there's a lot of amateurs in this country that would beat them, but they have the interest factor, and much credit to them. I also like them in the sense that they're very local to their loyal. They're loyal to their region. When they had a fight here, they had a bunch of local people on their card, guys that I know, boxers like Montana Love and others were on that card. So I like these guys. I like the Paul brothers. So it's no knock on anyone. I like, you know, Conor McGregor, Paul brothers, whatever kind of way people could generate interest is fine with me. But what's interesting about that is in 2017, I kind of pitched this idea to our reigning heavyweight champion, Stipe Miocic, because I was on the board of the Golden Gloves in 2010 when Stipe won and he went to nationals and things like that. So I knew Stipe, and I thought I could pitch the idea, hey, you're the heavyweight UFC boxing champion of the world. Maybe you should throw something out there to fight Deontay Wilder and try to get on that. They'll be talking about it the night of Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, and that's a much more interesting fight because these are the baddest men on the planet. You know, and he kind of liked the idea, but I think that he was skeptical because he had negotiations going on with Dana White. And I didn't think it interrupted anything. It would have been incredible because Deontay Wilder is a very big personality. Stipe is the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time, and he won the title with his hands. So what's interesting is a lot of people didn't think Conor McGregor had a chance against Floyd Mayweather. I actually think Stipe would have had a tremendous chance against Deontay Wilder because not only was he a very good striker, but he could do things that were very distinct to him. He was a baseball player in college. He won the heavyweight championship in Brazil against a Brazilian, going backwards and punching off his back foot, which is kind of like a shortstop throwing a first base. So, I mean, Stipe has got certain kind of skills. I think that it would have been an interesting fight. He didn't really take to my idea, which is really good. It was really basic. It was just basically kind of him saying that on a video clip that the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight is interesting, but he's a heavyweight champion of the world. He'd beat either of them. And then get a response from Deontay Wilder where he says, yeah, I'd beat either of those guys too, Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, and basically make it, this should be about the baddest men on the planet. So it's all true, and it's all good smack talk, and it's all interesting smack talk, but like I say, it didn't come to fruition, but the idea was to sort of leverage that moment. But here it is. History was made. The second most profitable boxing match of all time was a guy at his pro boxing debut, Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. So that's it for now. Did you know? Have a great day.
Forget about the count. It is over. Kim Burr. Wow. Performance. Over there. 6. Fury back up.
In the blue corner, you have Cleveland. And in the red corner, you have anyone from out of town. Can you stand the pain? Saturday, November 18th at the Woods-King Armory in Cleveland, Ohio.
Welcome back. Again, I'm Doug Patterson, Boxing Then and Now, the True Story. Our next guest is a special guest because boxing and anti-bullying in the future for people that don't become boxers or champions, they need to do something. What else is out there for? What's out there for them is the next guest I'm going to talk to you about, Staff Sergeant Kyle Chaplinski. Tell us about Ohio National Guards and how it can help and what's out there for them.
So basically the Ohio National Guard can help out in several ways. Short term, you're looking at joining the National Guard, you get one of hold of the recruiters. You can do that by calling 1-800-GO-GUARD, and they'll prompt you to put in your zip code, and that will take you to one of the Cleveland, Akron, Toledo, any recruiter in the state to where you're closest to. Then you would enlist in the Ohio Army National Guard, and we do what we call RSP Weekend, which is the Recruit Sustainment Program. You'll come with the recruiters. We will start you off. You'll do what we call Red Phase, and that's where you learn your basic military time, rank structure, the soldier's creed, and pretty much respect. You learn the NCO structure. There is a little bit of motivational yelling. It is not to be rude. It is to get you to where you're supposed to be in a timely manner. We do that until you ship to basic training, and then when you get to basic training, you will learn how to be a soldier, whereas then you learn modern Army combatives, and then you kind of bring yourself up. You work out, you work as a team, you grow together, build that relationship, you make lifelong friends. Then you go to your job training. So for example, I'm a medic. I went to 16 weeks of basic training at advanced individual training at Fort Sam Houston, where I left with my EMT basic. So really what we want to do is give you a chance to do something when you get out of AIT, and then you can find a job. There are plenty of websites. I'm going to discuss a couple. The Army Cool website, that's a credentialing service. So what I do is I take my EMT basic, I input that, and it gives you employers that are actually hiring. Then you have your joint service transcript, which gave me with basic training, and AIT gave me 16 college credits, so I skipped a semester. And then not everyone's going to go to college, so we have what we call the helmets to hard hats.
So, Sergeant, you offered college, and I'm looking at the sign next to you. You offer these tuitions in college. What else do you do as far as jumpstart on college with the Army National Guard?
So what we do is 100% paid tuition to any in-state college that's public.
Really? Okay.
If someone wants to go to a private school, that's fine. We pay the state average, which right now we're running about $11,000, and we'll take that off your bill. If you don't think college is for you, we have plenty of careers that translate into civilian, which is such as construction, electrical, plumber, and HVAC. And then what we do is the PAYS program. So you start off as an apprentice, right? And then you're not making that journeyman salary, but what the Army does, and more specifically Ohio National Guard, is we will pay that difference from apprentice to journeyman. So right in year one, you are making what a journeyman makes. So
Really?
all you have to do is send in the pay stub, and we will take care of the rest. So that is a great program.
So with boxing related to the Ohio National Guard, how do you feel some of the people from boxing, anti-bullying, would help on with you guys?
So from boxing, that's a great community. They have the discipline already. It's already been instilled in them, and that's the biggest thing in the military is discipline. Knowing where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, and what you're supposed to be doing. I feel like boxing is all of those things. So we have
training and all that other stuff. Yeah,
100%. And then I feel like those two worlds are perfectly combined, because you have those skill set and you have the work ethic already built into you. You have all that stuff.
So November 18th at the Woods-King Armory, where you're stationed at, you'll be there to, if anyone wants to talk to you a little bit more, on November 18th with Cleveland versus anybody, King of the Ring Boxing, November 18th, the Woods-King Armory in Highland Hills. And we're broadcasting right on the line right there. You'll get a chance to talk to you, Sergeant, there a little bit more in detail concerning how the Ohio National Guard can help them as far as whether you're a boxer. Some boxing people don't box, they do to get in condition, and they do it to get discipline, because anti-bullying with the military, once you teach that, people don't bully you as much because they know you'll fight back.
Absolutely. And the biggest takeaway, too, also is the military has a zero tolerance for hazing, bullying. We just don't accept it. That's been a big push recently in the last years. We just simply don't accept that in our ranks. So.
Is there anything else you would like to tell them? So you'll be there November 18th. You guys have a area right there, so you could talk to them a little bit more of. You got education, you got job skills and job training and discipline. God, you offer a lot.
Absolutely. We'll have 5 or 6 recruiters to talk to whoever wants to show up and talk to us. We'll be there.
No, is it a situation being in the National Guard? Could you get deployed? What happens on that?
That's always a possibility. That is with any job. There's risk.
Okay.
There's always a possibility to get deployed. We've actually drawn down a lot in the last few years on deployments, but mainly what we do is community work. We do several food drives a year.
Okay.
Between myself and the other recruiters. We have helped on the COVID mission. I was in the hospital working with COVID positive patients and helping the nursing staff there. And then we've also responded to the train derailment, is most recent memory, evacuation, and then cordoning off that area.
So how long have you been in the National Guard?
I've been in for 14 years, sir.
14 years. And you're a staff sergeant, okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it makes it a lot. So it's opportunities there for management and different things. You can go to school. It's a lot of different things you can do with the Ohio National Guard. If you're not sure what it's all about, they'll be there November the 18th at Cleveland versus anybody boxing event, King of the Ring Boxing, November 18th. And we'll broadcast that along the line on a commercial, so you can always go to that. And we'd like to see you there November 18th. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Sarge?
No, sir. Thank you for your time.
We'll see you November 18th at the Woods-King Armory in Highland Hills, Ohio, where you're going to have Cleveland versus anybody. Again, you'll have New York, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, New Jersey, Cincinnati, Akron, Columbus. They'll all be there. Virginia, we'll see you there. That's got a lot of action. King of the Ring, Prince of the Ring, Princess of the Ring, and Queen of the Ring, and 12 other outstanding bouts. And you get a chance to talk to Sergeant about a good career. See you next time with Boxing Then and Now, the true story. I'm Doug Patterson. Have a good night.
Knock out your competition with Altogether Marketing. We elevate your brand. Take a stance with your business name, logo, the tagline, your colors, even the fonts for your business. And then jab left with your website, jab right with core values. Back up with product experience and bring it on with you. Visit altogether.biz and let us help you create a knockout brand.
Welcome to the heart of our community, Bronzeville, where connections are made and voices are heard. Introducing the Bronzeville Communications Network, your platform for unity, collaboration, and empowerment. In this digital age, staying connected is crucial. With the Bronzeville Communications Network, you're never out of the loop. Seamlessly connect with local businesses, community leaders, and fellow residents. Stay informed about upcoming events, news, and opportunities that matter to you with the BCN calendar. Our user-friendly app and website puts the power of communication right at your fingertips. Get real-time updates, exchange ideas, and be a part of the conversations shaping our vibrant community. With the Bronzeville Communications Network, you're not just a spectator, you're a participant. Join the discussions, share your thoughts, and contribute to the positive changes in Bronzeville. Whether you're a business owner, a resident, or a community advocate, our network empowers you to make your voice heard and your impact felt. Bronzeville Communications Network, where unity becomes strength, collaboration becomes progress, and your voice becomes the driving force behind a better tomorrow. Join us today and be part of the vibrant Bronzeville community. Together, we're building a brighter future. Visit us at www.bcn-columbus.com. Join the conversation, because in Bronzeville, we connect, communicate, and thrive.
Hi, I'm Doug Patterson, and welcome to Boxing Dinner Now. We're going to have... Oh, I thought you were saying stop. Oh, okay. I had to pronounce it right. Simplinski, and then we also make sure we had Simplinski. Chaplinski. So we can... Chaplinski.
And it's Brownsville Communication Network.
What did I say? Network Communication?
Yep.
Okay. Our next guest is sitting right next to me. We have Marty Sutton, founder, and can you guys see it?
We built this.
That's all right. Keep going.
Threw me off, man.